In the last video, I recommended that new players start learning Dauntless combat by using a sword. If you took this advice, or you're otherwise new to the sword and looking to improve your gameplay, then here are a few pointers to get you started. Why would I recommend the sword as a first weapon, since the other weapon types offer a more exotic and exciting set of melee attacks? While these other weapons very clearly make sacrifices to some attributes in favor of others, the sword maintains a neat balance of mobility, power, and range. I consider the sword as the most versatile weapon available to slayers, with repeaters coming in a close second. Choosing to learn the sword first is like learning to play as Mario. There isn't much specialization, but you've got the most opportunity to master the general mechanics before branching off to specific focuses. Whereas if you started learning Dauntless with the Warpike, the focus on dishing out wounds and stocking missiles fails to translate into skill with other weapon types. The sword, however, focuses entirely on timing dodges and keeping close to your target, without any secondary gimmick to distract from that goal. Now, let's get into the specifics of how to be most effective when running the sword. Swordplay consists entirely of two attacks, the light and the heavy. You have a few combos that combine these attacks in different ways to deal damage. Every attack that you land grants you some amount of special meter. Once that meter is filled, you can activate your ability. So mastering combos is not only useful for the raw power of consistent attacks, but also for building special meter. Your first and quickest combo is the quad cross. You can execute this simple combo by using your light attack 4 consecutive times. The quad cross doesn't deal stupendous damage, but it's quick, intuitive, and easy to dodge out of. Rising Elements is the next combo, basically the heavy attack variant on the quad cross, consisting of 3 consecutive heavy attacks. This attack should serve as your go-to for quick damage before rolling away. Since both these combos only use one attack type, it's a simple way to whittle down behemoths without thinking too much. The final 2 attacks are variants of these 2 basic combos. Instead of executing the quad cross, you can substitute 2 heavy attacks in for the final light attack to perform Rising Elements. This combo takes a little longer to complete, and it deals the majority of its damage at the conclusion, so use this combo when a behemoth is standing still, and you're confident that there's enough time to land the final overhead blow. Rising Elements offers the highest damage per second of all the combos, at least while you're not near special. So try to land as many as you can for best results with the sword. If it seems like a behemoth will move away or attack before you complete this combo, you can choose to continue with light attacks and execute the quicker quad cross, or just dodge away mid-combo. Final attack in the move list is called Repeating Elements. You can activate Repeating Elements by using 2 heavy attacks and then as many light attacks as you can. Each light attack will consume stamina, so keep an eye on that bar, and make sure to stop the combo with enough stamina for at least a dodge roll. I recommend using Repeating Elements only on staggered behemoths, since you can't change your position while you're using this attack. You can start any of these combos with a dash attack, so optimize your damage by dodging through behemoths, hitting them with a dodge attack, and immediately starting up your combo. The dodge attack is nothing more complicated than attacking immediately after exiting your dodge, but it's a useful opener since the attack automatically targets the behemoth if nearby. Now that you understand the basic combat tactics, let's take a look at what sort of customization the sword offers. As you progress your sword mastery rank, you'll gain access to new abilities and mods to augment your gameplay. You can equip 1 of 2 abilities and 1 of 3 mods. The ability changes what happens when you activate your special, and the mods provide passive buffs. Overdrive is the first ability that you'll be able to equip on your sword. When you activate it, your sword swings also generate an Aether Wave that increases your range, plus your attack speed is boosted. If you reactivate your ability while in overdrive, you execute a dash on cooldown that doesn't consume stamina, but it also doesn't offer any iframes, so don't dodge into attacks. Use this dash instead to close long distances, and be sure to attack out of the dash just like you would a standard dodge. The other available ability is Ardent Cyclone. Activating this ability initiates a continuous whirling attack that deals significant damage and drains your special meter over its duration. Activating the ability again while spinning launches a powerful slash and ends the spin. I recommend using overdrive in nearly every situation. Although the Cyclone attack is fun, it severely reduces your mobility and it limits your offensive options to only spin or slash. I just don't think that the DPS of the spin is spectacular enough to warrant that reduction when you have the option to increase both damage and mobility with Overdrive. In the footage you see here, I used both abilities against a Firebrand Charog while wearing the same armor, using the same weapon and perks. My time was much faster with Overdrive, but of course that could be due to my personal comfort with that playstyle. Let me know down below if you prefer Cyclone and why, but for right now, I'll continue to recommend Overdrive. Now let's talk about mods. The first mod you unlock is Adhesive Hilt. As you read in the description, this mod prevents you from being staggered while your special ability is active. This is especially useful if you're using the Cyclone ability, since your dodge capabilities, as we already mentioned, are severely impaired. But be aware, while you won't be staggered out of your spinning attack, Adhesive Hilt offers no immunity or even a reduction to damage. You can still go down if you aren't keeping an eye on your health bar. Next, at Sword Mastery 10, you gain access to Reactive Hilt. This is a mod that I generally use and highly recommend. The passive buff guarantees a critical strike on every dodge attack, which doubles the damage of that attack. This may not seem too exciting, but once you start using this mod and consistently land dodge attacks, you'll notice an immediate boost to your DPS and kill times. Plus, you'll see some crazy large numbers pop up from time to time. The final mod, unlocked at Mastery 16, is Perpetual Blade Core. Now, even the hits that you land while your special is active generate a small amount of special meter, so the time you can spend in your ability is significantly increased. I consider this to be a close second to Reactive Hilt, and essentially you can spend entire fights in Overdrive if you combine this mod with +6 Energize to increase weapon meter gain. The Boreas and Stormclaw swords complement this well, with unique effects that focus on spending more time in Overdrive, or offer more damage while you are in Overdrive. There are many ways to arrange your weapons, armor, and cells that are effective with swordplay, but my personal preference and recommendation are to focus on maximizing perks that increase your raw damage. The Hellion Sword is ideal, with the built-in Overpower perk, plus 2 power slots. You'll find great success equipping the Hellion head, chest, and arms, along with Koshai feet to get the perks Predator, Molten, and Rage Hunter built into the armor. This set is weak defensively to frost enemies, but in general a very powerful loadout. Once you reach the final behemoths in the game, you can swap in the Rezakiri armor to play with what's probably the most meta loadout for swords right now. This loadout is ideal if you want to deal maximum DPS, but there's plenty of options that are viable, even though they may not outclass Hellion and Reza builds. I'll leave a link below to the game's Reddit, and you can search for a build that suits your personal taste. Another fun loadout, if you want to use the Ardent Cyclone, is a Rage and Iceborne build. With Iceborne, your attacks gain lifesteal once you go below 50% health. This is useful because, as we discussed before, you can still take damage with Adhesive Hilt, but with this setup, you can heal that right away. I don't consider this a top tier build, but it is definitely a good time. In this video, we've gone over the essentials of being successful while wielding the sword. You should have a good idea of how to execute each combo, and when is the most opportune time to use them. We've gone through every available weapon ability and mod. Plus, you know that I recommend Overdrive with Reactive Hilt in basically every scenario. If you have any questions about what we covered here or any other sort of input, let me know down in the comments. Or join my Discord and leave a message in the comment box text channel. It's much easier to start a conversation through my server since I get notified immediately. One more option is to catch me streaming on Twitch every Sunday night and sporadically throughout the weekdays, and just talk to me real time. I hope you learned something, and thank you for watching.